This is a bit of a social experiment. I don't ever go live this late. I've just got off from playing Cards Against Humanity with about 12 people online. And while we were playing, the story broke that Boris Johnson has tested positive for coronavirus. And thought, I might go live and see if anyone's around who wants to chat about this one. It's kind of interesting. So it's late and I just typed into Google Boris coronavirus. Just going to get a story up in case anyone joins and we can have a little chit chat about it. But yeah, this story broke about an hour ago. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has tested positive for coronavirus. Now, I think he was with Prince Charles like last week, maybe. It's quite a lengthy article, so I might have a bit of a look and see if anyone joins me. I mean, someone's here. Hey, just me. Tanny, what are you doing? You're up as well. It's not good, is it? I was just playing Cards Against Humanity with some friends. I set up this massive Zoom meeting and we would have had about 15 originally, but we ended up with about 9 of us playing and maybe 10 of us playing because there were a couple of couples. But, yeah, I thought just out of curiosity because I never go live at this time and it looks like it's just you and me, babe. So, yeah, the story broke while we were playing cards. What does it say? He developed mild symptoms over the past 24 hours, including a temperature and cough. He's self-isolating in Downing Street, but said he will continue to lead the government's response via video conference as we fight this virus. Last seen on Thursday night, clapping outside number 10 Downing Street as a nationwide gesture to thank NHS staff. Mild symptoms. Anywho, it was more just curiosity, Tanny, to see if anyone else. Oh my God, Ivor Problem's awake too. Hello, gorgeous. You just ran over your big toe. Tanny, my God. You are so good at hurting yourself, and I worry about you every day. And it's not minor stuff. It's not like I get a message from you and you're like, oh, I just stubbed my toe this morning. It's like I ran over my big toe with the vacuum cleaner, bled everywhere. Ouch. So, yeah, Boris, not great. Pretty full-on stories now about coronavirus. I'm trying not to. I used to feel like, oh, it'd be good to go live and chat to everyone about it. And at the end of the day, the stories are just getting worser and worser. I think Tassie, we were sort of comfortably sitting on the same number for the last couple of days, and the story broke tonight too that we've got like 11 new cases just from today, which is really bad, including a hospital staffer. Most of the state's in self-isolation now, so that's pretty cool. But, yeah, so we're now up to like 47. We were on 38 for 2 days. But I was just curious to see if anyone was around, and it's just the 3 of us. The neighbour was about to go to sleep, so I texted I'd be quick, so I was technically speeding. Well, with the vacuum cleaner? Tanny, I'm normally in bed by now. I'm getting one of those, when you get a headache if you stay up beyond your bedtime. Or it could have been the couple of champagnes. Hi, Muppets and Manilo. This is just going to be a quick one. I was just curious because I don't normally go live this late, but I just saw the Boris Johnson story and I was like, oh, let's just go live about that and see if anyone's around. I didn't hashtag it or anything, so people are probably watching all the major news services like BBC, I would imagine, but Yeah, so much for his, what was his theory? You know, the herd immunity. Doesn't look like it worked for the UK, or not for England. Anywho, I always try to find a happy news story too. Like the guy yesterday who got eaten by a crocodile because he ignored the lockdown and went out a wandering around Rwanda and got eaten by a croc. That was my good news story yesterday. Let me see if I can find one for tonight.
First, the good news.
Oh,
thank you, Australia.
That's always grim, isn't it? Yep, we'll do the good news first. That'll take about 1 minute, and then the rest 3 hours of this press conference will be bad news. So the Queen last hung out with Boris Johnson. Oh, they don't actually say, but she's healthy. Oh, sorry, she saw Boris on the 11th of March, but she is fine. She's fine. Boris Johnson's partner's pregnant, so that's going to be interesting, I guess. Probably want to stay away from Boris for a while. Even Malcolm Turnbull and Scott Morrison have sent him well wishes. What else? Oh, God, and now it's all grim stuff. Grim. Oh, Maya. Jesus. Indonesia, a really bad cure in Iran that's killed a shitload of people because it's not a cure. Let me find some happy news. People stranded in Peru. AFL pay cuts. SA can't find 40 people that came off the Ruby Princess. That's awesome, isn't it? Jesus Christ, it's a fucking mess. 40 South Australians, they haven't been able to locate them to make sure that they're quarantining themselves. There's a 10-year-old in SA with it. A police officer. We've got a healthcare worker down here. Then you had all the fuckwits on St Kilda Beach today. Schools out in North Queensland. Makeshift hospitals. The stock market, I don't give a shit about that. But those dickheads on St Kilda Beach, I'm so sick of this shit. Don't know if you guys are, but it's really annoying just seeing all these young people just all lying around, not social distancing, and just no care in the world. Anyway, that's all a bit grim. Not good he missed the herd, sorry. They've been doing conference calls. The Queen and Boris. Oh, I know. There's a photo of them. Oh, yes, you've clarified further down. Yeah, the twats on St Kilda Beach today. Ridiculous. And, yeah, not one good news story. Normally the source that I go to has some, all the factual stuff, and then they do usually have something kind of kooky at the end, but nope. Not right now, they don't. Oh, hang on, I'm on the BBC News page. Wait, hang on. I'll keep scrolling down my usual source. Let's find a funny story. Let's try and find one now. Travel. I mean, seriously, travel. People who would want to travel anywhere right now? Like, seriously. We've got people in Tasmania whinging about their children getting cabin fever. We're not even in lockdown here. It's social isolation. So you can go out for exercise. We've got wide open spaces, beaches, parks. And it's like, seriously, people, what's wrong with you? Oh, Biscuit just jumped from an armchair up onto my table because there's a moth that she's been eyeing off on the roof, on the ceiling for ages. And, oh, great, we've got a woman in Melbourne who went to a birthday party. This is the sort of bullshit I'm sick of seeing. Oh, my camera's not on. Thank God, she just knocked it about 3 feet. Oh, God, I want one good story. So this gives me the shortest live in the history of going live on YouTube. Did you get it, Biscuit? Dozens seen running and swimming at Manly Beach too. Oh, that's great. They're breaching social distancing in election queues. Coles is telling everyone to pack their own groceries. Yeah, fair enough too. New lockdown measures. Prince Charles is better. Here we go. A generous man hands out cash outside Centrelink in Melbourne. John gave each person in the line at Centrelink a $100 note. Well, there you go. There's my good news story. I can end this live now and feel good that I ended on a cheery note. Exactly. I don't get it. They had the kids. Exactly. Like, what the fuck? I don't have kids, and as you know, and I've heard more parents complaining about this than anyone else, and it's like, your kids can get sick too. If you give a shit about them, keep them at home and maybe be firm with them and tell them that we're all in this and stop whinging. I mean, these kids have got electronic toys to keep them entertained. You think about what our grandparents' generation went through with the war, you know, like married couples that were separated and they'd be lucky to get a letter every 3 months from them, and they died, you know, shitloads of young kids died fighting wars and stuff. And these little fuckers, oh no, I've got to be at home where I've got electricity and I've got electronic toys and I can Skype my friends, FaceTime my friends, play games. I mean, all these kids that I know sit on their friggin' tablets playing games for hours on end, and suddenly now that they can't go outside, it's a problem. I think parents need to actually tell their kids to fucking, you know, stop it and be serious about this. And Jesus Christ, if it's miserable being stuck at home where you're being fed, you can have hot showers, you've got toys to play with, something wrong with this world. I know it's stressful times though, but people need to get their heads around this before stage 3 kicks in. Exactly, Tanny. Like, I can't handle friends of mine with kids. I love them all dearly, but so many of them are telling me that their kids aren't happy. And it's like, tell your kids to grow the fuck up. Like, they'll be a lot unhappier if someone in their family dies from coronavirus, or they do. Like, I don't know. It's kind of irritating. John. Why have you said John? John. Oh, John, the guy handing out the $100 notes. Oh, no, I agree, Tony. Isn't he lovely? My grandson doesn't have internet. He did schoolwork today. Exactly. And you know what? When we were kids, we didn't have the internet at all, did we? And what would we do? We'd use our imaginations. Like, we'd go outside in our gardens and we would entertain ourselves for the whole day, like making little roads and little houses and all sorts of shit, cubbies. And these kids, because they've had so much electronic entertainment, or babysitters, as I like to call them, electronic babysitters, and now suddenly they're quite happy to spend the whole day playing on their tablet when they could also go for a walk if they wanted to. But now that they're like, no, you actually have to stay home. Oh, I'm bored. Get the fuck over it. This is Tori's midnight rant. The three of us just hanging out. Someone I subscribe to on YouTube passed away from cancer. All I think about is, how do you handle a funeral without hugging one another? This is also sad. Poor family. He was young, had 2 kids. That is very sad, Muppets. But interestingly, I went to a funeral today online on that subject matter, and I watched the live stream of it, and I could see my sister because there were only 10 people in the funeral home. And I could see my sister, my brother-in-law, her sister-in-law. We were all very close. I could see her stepkids, and all I wanted to do was reach through the screen and give her a hug, give all of them a hug. And I've been thinking about that. One of my lives that I did on the beach a few days ago, maybe a week ago, just all the families around the world that are losing members from coronavirus, their family members are dying alone. I mean, at least Bonnie had her daughter with her when she died. She'd had her ex-husband, who they'd stayed really good friends. He was with her throughout the night. When Cassie got there in the morning, he went home to have a shower, and she sat with her mum, and her mum passed away. And her brother, Tim, my brother-in-law, he was on Macquarie Island due to get back from doing 12 months down there this week, and he's now home. And he did a beautiful job today, sort of being the MC of the funeral, because they needed the 10 seats, so they couldn't have a celebrant. But I just think of all these people losing family members to coronavirus. The family members are dying alone in hospitals, and, you know, especially like in countries like Italy, where they normally take the corpse home, they dress it, they have it laid out, everyone gets to go and say goodbye. They can't do that. And they can't go to a funeral either. It's just, you know, the grief is just going to be so intense around the world for a long time. But yeah, rather topical, Muppets, because I went to a funeral today, and I'm sorry to hear about your other person that you used to follow on YouTube as well. And I don't know, I mean, I guess the answer is, how do you handle a funeral without hugging one another? You just don't hug one another. I mean, my sister and her husband are self-isolating, and they would have given each other a hug when they got home probably, but they didn't. On this video, they were all in their own little 4-meter squared spot, and they didn't move from it. Thank you, Muppets. I mean, Bonnie was beautiful, and she, when Ange and Tim got married, even before they got married, when they were a couple, and then when they got married, Bonnie always treated all of my sister's extended family, like me, my brother, his wife, their kids, as part of her family too. Like, we were very much all as important, not as close, obviously, but yeah, and sadly for Bonnie and Tim and Cassie, they lost their brother Matt, or Bonnie's son Matt, last year. So they've had a couple of really bad deaths in the last 12 months. It's very sad. Anxiety's high. I feel terrible. Well, Muppets, I don't know if it'll help or not, but I am doing a little self-care video every day, just giving people little tips of little things that they can do just to try and keep everyone's anxiety and mental health as healthy as I possibly can. So please do check out those little videos, because I'm trying to have some fun with them and make people laugh, and we're all here together. We're all in this together. So, you know, I'll continue to go live as often as I can. I mean, that's one advantage from being at home so much, is I can go live a lot. But I do get it. I've developed incredibly debilitating anxiety for the first time in my life last year, and it is so debilitating. But yeah, if this channel gives you a little place to come and have a bit of a laugh, or even just to feel supported, you don't even have to have a laugh. It's worth it, you know. It's worth it. I mean, look at us. We're the little midnight club. It's just gone midnight here. I won't be on for much longer, though. I've got a bit of an early start tomorrow. But please do hang out here. And I went for a really beautiful walk today. I took everyone to a different beach that I normally go to, and then showed how close this other beach is to where I normally take everyone for beach walks. And I'm hoping that some people will see those videos and it sort of feels like they get to go for a virtual walk and see some beautiful scenery. And the beach that I was on today is just breathtaking. So, and really calm, and the water is really clear, and the sun was out, and the sun was reflecting on the sandstone on one of the little islands. And just, yeah, tune into stuff like that if you need to just have some happy but chill time. We do have to try and keep our spirits high, Tanny, and it's the only way we will get through us. And I think we are all looking out for each other. So please do lean on me as well. The least I can do. And don't get me wrong, I'll probably have moments where I need to stay offline and just have some downtime and listen to my favorite music and spend time with my cat and chill the fuck out. But I'll try to keep everyone buoyed through this as well. My pleasure, Muppets. Yeah, and that's the thing, Tanny, like all this sort of separation. I mean, I know a couple where the one half of the couple was overseas for work, and although he can come back into Australia, he can't get out of where he is. And who knows how long it will be before he's home, and she's at home with their 2-year-old twins and also pregnant again. It's quite possible she'll go through the pregnancy and have the baby before he gets to come home. So there's a lot of, again, there's all these stories that everyone's united. Everyone's got these. It's one of the reasons I think we can all come together as a global community, because we're sharing the same stories, and that's often what separates all of us is, thinking, oh, that's so far away, it's not going to impact on me, or this won't happen to me, or we watch stuff in horror on the news, but it's on the other side of the world. But everyone's got similar stories. It's, if it doesn't bring us all closer together, then as a race, humans are not that great, because this is an opportunity for us to all become so much more compassionate and show so much more empathy, because we can all relate to what other people are going through. That's how I look at it anyway. You're here for everyone. We'll get through this. We so will, Muppets. We so will. And it is to save lives at the end of the day. That's the other thing. And, again, we've got this incredible technology. We can call each other. We can FaceTime each other. We can send each other emails. We've got all these ways of getting in touch with people that, like I said, our grandparents, when they went off to fight in wars, they'd be in a war fighting battles every day, and maybe once every 3 months they'd get a letter from home, a little care package or something like that. It's getting cold in here. I've got to close the door out to Biscuit's outdoor enclosure because it's making the house cold. Are you ready to go to bed, Vicky? Speaking of, I think I might take myself and my little floofy to bed. But yeah, just popped on to say, just out of curiosity. But now that I know it's pretty quiet, it's lovely to have you guys in here. If I wasn't so exhausted, that Cards Against Humanity game went for nearly 4 hours, so my head's starting to throb a little bit. But thanks for popping in and saying hi. I'm here for you as often as I can be, Muppets and Just Me, you know that. And yeah, everyone's so separated. I mean, I just watching my sister today, and she was holding it together because her husband's lost his mother and brother, and she was being so supportive and loving and caring, and I wanted to give her a hug through this computer screen to say, you're amazing. You're amazing. We'll be having a little farewell for Bonnie when we all come through this, if we, well, not if, I mean, we will, but we'll get to have a belated gathering, which will be lovely. So God, I'm not going down. I started looking at grim news. I'm closing out of all of these news stories. Just take care, everyone. Sounds like Boris will be fine. I kind of read stories like that and go, yeah, but at the end of the day, he's going to get, if he needs it, top-notch medical care that other people may miss out on. I mean, it's horrible for anyone who gets it, but I do have this cynical view that, if the people with money are going to be getting the best care. And, I guess if they're world leaders, they're kind of important, right? But, yeah, the discrimination of this virus doesn't exist, but the discrimination in treatment certainly does. But love you guys. Thanks for popping in. Hope Boris is okay. I hope his pregnant wife is okay. And we will all get through this. It's going to be tough. There's going to be days when we're all going to feel absolutely heartbroken. But like everyone's saying, everyone reasonable is saying, if it means we've got our loved ones with us when we come out the other end of this, it's going to be so worth it. I just wish that these little younger people, I mean, there's enough data out there now about young people dying. I wish they'd stop doing all this bullshit and going to the beaches. It just shows how little they care about anyone else but themselves, and it's sickening. I really felt that people in their 30s can change the way they think, and it's just, it's so heartbreaking just to keep seeing stories like that of not just in Australia but young people all over the world just thinking for some reason they're immune, not giving a shit if they're passing it on. That kind of stuff really fucks me off. I get it that, a small kid may not understand the impact of their actions, and their parents can be firm and just say, look, kids, this is the way it is. But these other guys in their 30s, they're living in their own places. They've got incomes. They're pissing me right off. So on that note, thanks again, guys, for joining me. Sweet dreams, everyone, and see you around on the YouTubes. But stay safe. Take care of everyone that you love, and we'll all catch up again very soon, I hope. No, 30 isn't young at all, and that's what I mean. They're just the fact that they haven't realised. How can you? Well, I'm going to start ranting again, but how can you be ignorant of what's going on in Italy right now, or Spain right now, or America right now, or Indonesia right now, like the whole world right now, when you're that age where they're all, constantly looking at their phones or on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook? How can they not know? The fact is they do know, and they don't give a shit, and that's what pisses me off. And the other thing is that they don't give a shit, and they're passing it on to the more vulnerable members of our community who are dying in greater numbers, even though young people are dying. And it just makes me sick. I'm embarrassed to, be a human being. It's the way some people are acting. And I honestly don't feel that if any of them and their actions led to a family member dying, I just can't see how they will even feel any guilt or remorse. How could you? Because they're already dicing with death. That's a topic for another day. You tell them, Tori. No one's watching me. That's a problem. That's a problem. They're not. I feel like I'm preaching to the converted when I do go down these roads. We're all chatting with like-minded people. I've been putting things on my Facebook page, and then I just think, what's the point? Nobody that's sitting on Bondi Beach or Manly Beach or St Kilda Beach is reading my Facebook page. But anyway, I was going to say life goes on, but that's the sad thing about this whole fucking virus right now. It doesn't for many, many, many people. I did put on Facebook today that I think people are a much worse virus than the one we're at war with at the moment, which is a sad reality. And I hope some people change their attitudes, but, this story broke in December. We're now nearly at the end of March, and there they all are, not giving a fuck. On that note, I do give a fuck about my cat. So she and I are going to head to bed. But love you, Tanny. Thank you for joining. Thanks too for Muppets and Manilow, and also the little lurker that popped in but didn't say anything. Shortest live ever for me, I think. But love you heaps, and see you on the YouTubes. We'll get through this together. When no one's alone right now. So hang in there, everyone. Stay safe. Bye for now.